The Genesis G80 that we're driving is a mid-size premium sedan. It's in its second generation and it has been updated for 2025. The big question, would we rather drive this than a BMW 5 Series?
But first, here's how much the G80 costs.
Sitting in here, sleek, lovely, modern.
Beautiful.
The entire video is just going to be single words instead of sentences.
Cool. It looks beautiful. It feels nice. This accent material.
Carbon fiber.
I've never seen such a pretty fun version of carbon fiber.
Yeah, it's like if carbon fiber was bedazzled. And then of course over here, especially at this lighting angle, we've got our shiny black plastic, which is covered with dust and smudgy fingerprints. Nonetheless, the total effect in here is one of an elevated interior. I really like the use of color too, the vibrant red that we've got in here and how it kind of flows in continuity from the dash area onto the doors. It all just feels very unified. Some big updates for 2025. Obviously this big screen, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. The whole center console area has been reworked. Physical volume knobs. Genesis used a roller for a while, but I really prefer a knob. We still have capacitive controls for the climate. They work well enough. We had talked about how there's potential for confusion between the infotainment controller and the drive selector. Here there's a little bit more differentiation. Oh, and this is a new steering wheel design and I think it looks great.
For small storage in the door, it's pretty small and angular.
Move rearward and door storage is similarly tight, but I do like the little touch here with the coat hangers. It looks just a little bit premium.
Especially next to this soft headliner. There are reasonable size cup holders here and I like that they're covered. As for the phone zone, there's a wireless charger. There's a center console that's on the small side. That's where you'll find the charge ports.
Moving to the seats, I'm finding a really good balance between smooth, pressure point free shape here for my body and more than adequate lateral support. It's kind of holding me in the smart region, which is like just below my shoulders. There's no impeding on my arm movement.
And I appreciate how adjustable it is, even for the passenger. This is a particularly comfortable seat.
Seated behind my ideal front seat position, there is an amazing amount of leg space, more than adequate head clearance. Those outboard positions are very comfortable. Move to that middle position and I'm not happy. I might not have been happy anyway, but in that particular case, it's because of the seat. Not enough room for me, but what about you, Kiddo?
I feel okay unless my feet are on the hump.
Then your knees are kind of in your face?
Literally in my face.
How do you like sitting in the outboard position?
It's way better than the middle position.
What about climbing in and out of the Genesis G80?
Really, really easy. It's like as low as a short stair.
So take the short stair that you have nearby, and then that'll be a good point of reference. I appreciate that there are rear vents back there. One challenge I had climbing in and out, in the back seat, I have to kind of duck down a little bit to clear the roof line, but that's a minor accommodation to get into a very comfy rear seating area. For cargo space, there are 13.1 cubic feet. Numbers are meaningless until you compare them to other numbers. That's where I mentioned that a Honda Civic has 14.8 cubic feet. It's funny, that's a compact car with a much roomier trunk.
We're hauling around a lot of crap today, and there was still plenty of space for us.
And if we had brought luggage, there'd still be room for it.
Ew.
The cargo area is a little small but workable for our family. The challenge to my mind is that the seats do not fold down. So if you have long items, you only have that small pass-through. So I don't know what you can buy at IKEA that will actually fit through that hole. If you go to Paul Walter's warehouse, then you might be able to squeeze something through. One pleasant surprise though, there is a spare back there. And the Genesis G80 comes with a smart trunk. So if you just go stand back there with the key in your pocket, it'll automatically open after 3 seconds. If you want it to do, you can also turn that off. Sweetie, what's the car seat situation?
There are 3 top tethers, lower anchors on the outboard position, and there is room to install a rear-facing car seat behind my preferred front seating position.
As for safety, the NHTSA has rated the G80 5 stars overall. The IIHS has named it a top safety pick. Plus, we got 10 airbags standard plus a complete suite of active driver assist technology. Family, what do we think? Is the Genesis G80 family friendly?
It is small, rich family friendly.
Rear window test. Oh, not all the way down. Armrest test, driving in a comfortable 8 and 4 easy access both inboard and outboard. Underneath here, it's pretty hard on the edge and there's a little bit of stitching on top. Outside, we have a little bit of a ridge here, but it's more comfortable. I'm gonna go 85% outboard, 70% inboard. Moving onward to style. In looking at the changes, they're light, but I would only want radical changes if I didn't already think the G80 looked awesome.
right?
We've got more double mesh crest grille up front.
Which is good because I like the grille. That lower part, especially how curvy it is, it looks so nice. There is such a unified look to the exterior too. That lower part, how it's sort of concave, matches the concave quality to the rear, the double light bars.
A bigger crime than changing the G80 not enough would be to come in and take a great design and then like screw with it just to change it and make it worse. It might not be immediately obvious, but these are new headlights for 2025. They have a micro lens array feature, and that allows the headlights to aim the light more precisely, which means less blinding oncoming traffic. In that spirit, if like me, you hate being blinded, consider Flying Eyes Eyewear. If you're wondering how their unique traits make them exceptionally durable and comfortable for pilots like me and for drivers like me, click the link in the description below, use the promo code Mike, and you can save 10% on Flying Eyes. Bendy shot. Bam. One minor annoyance, Genesis charges for most colors. White is no charge, but otherwise it's gonna probably cost you extra. Overall, we're feeling really positive about the style of the Genesis G80. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Tell us in the comments. Also, thank you for supporting our channel. Even though we're not driving in our cool mountain community today, we're in like suburbia. Nonetheless, you've chosen to be here and join us for this video, and for that we thank you. Moving onward to In Motion. The G80 we're driving has the adaptive suspension with road preview. It's got a camera looking forward, saying like, hey, how should I adjust the suspension for maximum comfort? Consequently, we have a very quiet ride, that's to be expected, but also elite level ride comfort. Rolls right over it. I wouldn't say it's like loose or floaty feeling, but it's definitely like pillowy in a good way. I will note that it's not a fun steering feel, but it is composed and it is competent, perfectly appropriate for the mid-size sedan luxury category. And I like too that it feels very like locked in. There's enough weight here that the car just kind of goes where you've intended. It just has a rock solid feel that I like. We're driving the 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V6. I floored it. Whee! That was a pretty quick reaction. Got strong pull, and it sounds nice too. There is an option to enhance the engine noise. I have turned that completely off. So everything we heard there was actual engine noise. Let's just use these paddle shifters and downshift needlessly to third gear, and oh, there we go. I'm just gonna roll around like this just because it's nice. The 3.5 liter offers plentiful power, but I think it also leaves a little bit of room above. Let's say for a future G80 Magma trim, which would be like the even sportier, maybe BMW M equivalent for Genesis. But truly, there is enough power for most people's needs. I'm gonna go a little bit zippy through here and see what happens. Ooh. Little like tire chirp, but it was like not dramatic. The G80 knows what it's doing. Now, driving around in comfort mode, I've noticed that the transmission seems to be very competent. As I accelerate here, do you feel much change in G as we make those gear changes?
Very smooth.
We can change the mode, so if I go to sport, then go down a gear, get a little snappier responses from the powertrain, steering heavies up, all the things you'd expect from sport mode. We also have Sport Plus, which comes with the V6. I'm interested in it because it includes a launch control feature. Kiddo, should we find somewhere to use launch control? If you would like to use launch control, please acknowledge that with a creepy face. Very good then. Traction and stability control disabled. We're in Sport Plus mode. Brake all the way down. Gas, launch control ready. Count me down.
3, 2, 1.
Go. Yay. Thoughts? You're right. That is not the most aggressive launch control we've experienced. Last time we did launch control was in an M3.
This is a jaded crew.
Last time she screamed.
Launch control active.
It's true. It was fast, but it didn't make me feel like I was going to vomit and die at the same time.
I do know that max acceleration is about 5 seconds from 0 to 60, so it's nice to have launch control. Just don't oversell it to your friends.
I can't believe I was scared to do that.
Last thing, I believe there's a new electric brake booster for 2025, and that leads into something I'm going to call the limo test, which is, can I bring this vehicle to a complete smooth stop? And then one interesting modifier is that we can actually change the brake feel from sport to comfort. I'm in comfort right now, and I'm using my left foot because that's how confident I am as a left foot braker. It's a rally thing, don't complain to me. And let's see if I can come to a smooth stop.
Wow.
Did that pass the limo test?
It really did. I can't tell when we stopped.
Genesis G80 passes the limo test. That's what I think about driving the G80. What does Sweetie think? Evie's at the wheel. Do me a favor. We're parked. Pull forward. When I say left, just go left. All the way left now. Keep left.
Dang.
How are you finding that turning circle?
Ooh, I really like this. I get very anxious in parking lots, and this is super cool.
The version we're driving has rear wheel steering, kicks the rear wheels out at slow speeds, so you can do, doot. Kiddo, give us the song. Yeah.
Is anyone getting sick?
Hey, we can go this way now.
Whee!
We also have this 360-degree camera system with a bunch of different views.
I'm getting a lot of confidence from these tools.
The standard turning circle, by the way, is 38.1 feet, and then the rear wheel steer cuts 2 feet off of that. As you pull out here, leave with whatever haste you're comfortable.
Okay, I wasn't impressed by launch control, but I am impressed by that power.
Enough to get ahead of traffic confidently?
Absolutely.
Any visibility challenges?
No, visibility is good all around.
Turn on your right turn signal and the gauge cluster there. What do you got?
I really appreciate the added visibility from this blind spot camera.
Steering this thing around town, how's it feel?
I feel confident and assured. I like steering this.
Going where you want?
Yes.
If we were in the market for a premium mid-size sedan, are there any game killers that would keep you from driving a Genesis G80?
No game killers here.
Excellent, I'm getting back in the driver's seat. Let's move onward to remarks. Perhaps the most vivid update for 2025 is this new 27-inch OLED screen. It includes standard wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone connectivity. We also now have USB-C ports. The digital gauge cluster and infotainment display are all under one single pane, one big screen, just kind of a unified flow, one into the other.
All the graphics are huge, crisp, beautiful. It makes it easy to see what you're choosing out of the corner of your eye. It is kind of a far reach, so this is the rare infotainment that I actually prefer using the knob interface.
Unless you had like the Futurama finger longerer, in which case you could really get at it. But it is nice to have the option to use the one that you prefer. The gauge cluster side gives me the information I need in clear fashion. And then over here, I like the fact that the thing that you're on is vivid color and everything else is kind of grayed out, but you've got these really distinct pictures that identify one from the other. So you don't have to read necessarily, you can look at the image and kind of know what you're getting. Out of focus gears means setup. That makes sense, I get it. And now let's take a look under the hood in a test inspired by my buddy Brian. Here's how you open the hood on a Genesis G80. When you do, you'll be pleased that it's got those little pneumatic lifts. Here's where you check the oil level. Here's where you add oil, and over on the left side, that's where you add the washer fluid. And if you're wondering what the G80's horn sounds like, all right, let's talk engine choices. The base engine is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. And then there's a 3.5 liter V6 twin turbocharged like we've been testing. With either engine, all-wheel drive and an 8-speed automatic transmission comes standard. Oh, and premium fuel is recommended.
Sweetie.
Yes?
Please share our trim recommendation.
I will! In fancy fashion. Our trim recommendation is which trim will give you the essential G80 features you'd regret not getting, but at the lowest possible price.
Which still isn't that low.
Ooh! The base 2.5T trim has heated seats front and rear. It has 12-way power front seats with memory for the driver, a heated power telescoping steering wheel, dual zone climate control, that massive 27-inch screen, and smart key access. Everything you need and then some. If you're ready to buy a Genesis G80 of your very own, click the Kelley Blue Book pricing link in the description below to learn what your current car is worth for trade-in and what you should spend on a Genesis G80. As for competitors, there's the Mercedes-Benz E-Class, the Audi A6, and then the BMW 5 Series. What a nice lead-in that is, Micah. Going back to this video's original premise, would we rather drive the Genesis G80 than a BMW 5 Series? Guiding our opinion are a couple of key details. Detail number one, if you compare a Genesis in base form to an all-wheel drive version of the BMW 530i, the Genesis is $4,000 cheaper and 45 horsepower more powerful. One could also argue that Genesis's modern design style is more appealing than BMW's. Lastly, the features in here I find to be easier to use than if you get into an equivalent BMW.
I heartily agree.
So better value, more power, easier usability, and arguably better style. Yeah, if it were us and we had to choose between this and a BMW 5 Series, sweetie,
we would definitely choose G80.
did we miss any remarks? If so, tell us in the comment section. And now it is our daughter's time to shine. Child, can you tell us what is your favorite feature in the Genesis G80?
My favorite feature is using the fob to park the car.
Sadly, she's too young to actually sit here in the driver's seat, but if you just give her the fob, she can drive that thing around like a pro. The remote smart parking assist 2 that we have here can also do some things it'll do, like parallel spot, spots and diagonal spots. I don't know if I'd be so bold as to do that, just sort of standing on the side of the road, holding a fob, waiting for the car to park itself.
That is bold.
But it's neat that the technology is getting to the point where it can do that kind of stuff. Family, I think we've done a good job reviewing the Genesis G80. May I have a 5 and a 5, and you come get your high five. Bravo! And now please enjoy our AI-generated synopsis song about the Genesis G80.
Genesis got the solids taking over the vibe. Made a choice, shifted gears, it's clear to see. BMW and a review, just let it be. Yeah, we're rising high, let the engines roar. Genesis shines bright, this is what we adore.